What's going on, YouTube? We're back at it for another video, and today we're going to be talking about how to deal with that new threat, the Shriekers, and that of their nests. Now, this new gnat of the Terminate is going to be a formidable force that will be quite a bit of frustration added to each one of the scenarios you may be facing off with them in, including that of trying to take an objective or even just having a bug breach right near them is going to be a nightmare situation. But let's give you the tips on how to take down those Shriekers themselves and give you a little bit of the insight on how to make them pretty easy targets. Now, first things first, when it comes to dealing with these Shriekers, as soon as they notice you, they are beacons for all the bugs in the near vicinity, so make sure that as soon as you see them, it might be the best bet to just go and head towards their nests and be able to take those out as quickly as possible, considering they are just going to be calling in everything, circling you like buzzards, and then drawing in all those bugs that may not initially cause a bug breach, but the more that they pull in, the more likelihood there is going to be a bug breach on top of the amount of those Shriekers that may be spawning and being a very frustrating scenario that can burn through reinforcements really quickly, or just eat up time through the mission. But when it comes down to facing off with these Shriekers, you don't necessarily want to immediately start lighting them up as soon as you see them floating off in the sky. They can be troublesome targets to shoot, and you may end up burning through some ammunition in that moment that you possibly didn't need to, as just immediately trying to take them out isn't going to cause anything to be any easier. It's just going to give you a few opportunities to not have a couple of those swoops that they may dive down onto you with. Now, when they do swoop down to claw out your eyes, make sure that you're not shooting them in that scenario, because if you do, it may seem like they're an easier target, and yes, they are, but if they die midair while they're gliding towards you, they will continue to glide towards you and then immediately cause you to be another casualty, burning through that reinforcement and coming back down in that hell pod. So in that moment, when you do see them swooping down towards you, your best bet is to move left or right, or possibly even crouch. Sometimes that can be all that it takes in order to avoid that attack. Now, this is the most opportune moment for them to be the easiest targets for you, as after they've swooped down past you, they will actually swoop back up into the air just behind you, pull a 180 and look back where they are, and they'll eventually find themselves in a stationary position floating just above you very closely, and they will sit quite still for a moment, and this is when they're going to be the easiest targets for you to take down. No matter what the weapon you are using in that scenario, it is going to be an easy time picking them out of the sky for you right after they swoop down past you. So keep that in mind. That is going to be an excellent way to make them the easiest targets for you after you've destroyed their nests and cleaned them out of the skies. And in general, you just can't go wrong with, in those scenarios where you do have a bug breach while these guys are swooping down past you, if you don't have the time to pull that 180 and start taking them out, just constantly keep moving. You can't go wrong with corralling the crowds when it comes to facing off with the Terminate, as you're not having a lot of that range damage coming for you. You're not looking for cover. You're more than likely just trying to make sure that you're moving through the crowds and churning through some of those enemies efficiently and making sure you're not getting overwhelmed or your team isn't getting overwhelmed. Now, when it comes down to weapons that will be ideal for facing off with these gnats, you can't go wrong with the SG-225 Breaker, the Last 16 Sickle, the SMG-37 Defender, super accurate, and my personal favorite, the SG-8 Punisher. Each one of these weapons is going to give you the most capability of not only having decent accuracy, but at the same time giving you that comfortability of, even if you do miss some of those shots initially, you have a very easy time getting back on target and micro-correcting your aim to be able to land those shots to take out that enemy as quickly as possible. But do let me know down in the comments below if you have any other options that may be better for taking out these Terminate. But now let's get down to the stratagems that you can use in order to take out their nests. Now, there's more than a few of these stratagems that have the capability of actually taking out these nests, and some of them are more effective than others, but we'll go through each one of them that you have the capability of destroying these nests with. Coming up first, we've got the anti-material rifle, which isn't exactly the greatest option, but you can get it done with this weapon, and you can get it done at distance. Sadly enough, it will take 3 entire magazines just to take out one stalk of these Shrieker nests, but it does have the capability of doing it from range, and if this is something that you're using against the Terminate, which I wouldn't highly suggest, you can get it done with it. Coming up right after that, we've got the expendable anti-tank, which it's going to take 2 of these rockets in order to take out just 1 of the stocks for the Shrieker nests, which isn't that bad, especially if you've only got 1 left, and you can get it done from a fairly large distance. And vice versa, the recoilless rifle will be also able to do the exact same thing as that of the expendable anti-tank. Coming up right after that, we've got the autocannon, which may be a fantastic option with coming in to destroy some of these nests, considering it's only going to take about 9 to 10 rounds in order to take them out, and you will be able to get it done at distance. And at that same time, considering you do have a large backpack filled with ammunition for this, you'll be able to clear out a lot of those Shrieker nests very easily from a good range, which can be extremely beneficial at not alerting those Shriekers and calling in all of those bugs to your location before having to deal with this nest. Coming up right after that, we've got the orbital laser, which will move from target to target very similarly to the way that it actually moves through some of those bot fabricator bases. On the automaton side of things, it will move from nest to nest in order to take out the entire Shrieker hive that is growing there. Coming up right after that, we've got the orbital rail cannon strike, which will target on each one of those little Shrieker stalks and take them out one by one. Now, this is not exactly something I would say is the most beneficial, but if you're looking to take out that very last one, especially while you're in the middle of a bug breach and a lot of those Shriekers are around, this is a quick and easy way to just land that final shot and take it out for good. Coming up right after that, we've got the Eagle 110mm rocket pod, which is going to be very similar to that of the rail cannon, except you will actually be able to take out all three if you have all three rocket pods available to you, and almost be a better option than using that of the rail cannon if you have this available to you. On top of that, you'll also be able to utilize the Eagle 500 kg bomb, but I wouldn't say this is going to be the best use of it, as it will not have a blast radius large enough in general to be able to take out more than just one of the stalks. There may be a few occasions where you'll be able to take two out with just one, but in general it will only have the capability of taking out just one of them. And just after that, we have the orbital precision strike, which will be able to take it out in one fell swoop, similarly to that of the 500 kg bomb. Coming up right after that, we've got the HMG emplacement, which strangely enough has the capability of taking out each one of these Shrieker nests, which arguably can take out all three of them, even at distance, if you do utilize this against the Terminate. But I will say it's still dangerous to use this against the Shriekers themselves, considering they can still dive bomb on top of you. Coming up right after that, we have the excellent option of the laser cannon, which can also get this done from distance and be able to take out all three, considering you do have unlimited ammo with this as long as you don't burn through that heatsink. And just after that, we also have the Patriot EXOSUIT, which with 2 rockets from this will be able to take out one of those Shrieker stalks and technically be able to take out the entire nest with how many rockets it has available. And when it comes down to the best option for your stratagems to be able to take out these Shrieker stalks or Shrieker nests, the Eagle Airstrike is going to be one of your better options to possibly have the capability of, within one use of the stratagem, destroying the entire nest. As long as you properly place it and they hit all three at the same time with each one of its bombs, it should get the job done fairly easily. And sadly enough, for whatever reason, the grenade launcher and the spear are just incapable of destroying the Shrieker stalks. For whatever reason, the grenade launcher just, I burned through so much ammo just trying to get it done, and for whatever reason, it's just not capable, which is crazy to me considering the autocannon can get it done. It's one of those moments where I feel like guaranteed the grenade launcher should be able to get it done, but it just can't for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it's a bug or whether or not they've just created some type of different penetration power between the two, but there could be a lot of factors at play with this one. And when it comes down to the spear, it has no capable way of locking onto it, similar to what it has with the fabricators over on the automaton side of things, which is a huge letdown, as this would be something that would make it a bit more viable against using with the Terminate, considering it's not a bad option with taking out the Bile Titans, but beyond that, that's basically its only use right now when it comes to facing off with the Terminate. As in general, you won't be using this against Chargers, you'll just be trying to one-tap those Bile Titans. But if this did have the capability of taking out Shrieker nests from a distance, this would be another viable option for me to actually put this into my loadout and use it. But that's going to be it right there, people. That's going to be the end of how to deal with those Shriekers and the Shrieker nests themselves. They can be a very huge pain, but it does create some interesting scenarios going forward. I'm very excited to see some of the new enemy types that we'll be seeing in the coming future. You may have noticed some of those skeletons laying around from those Hive Lords or what looks like a giant centipede worm. I'm very eager to start seeing some of these new enemy types that we'll be facing off with. But let me know down in the comments below how you're feeling about this, whether or not you're having a nasty time with some of these gnats that we have to deal with the Terminate now, and what are your best options for taking these out yourself. But if you'd like to see some more content like this in the coming future, hit that subscribe button, and if you'd like to see some of this content live, hit that link down in the description below. Follow me over at Twitch. We're streaming daily. And on that note, have a good one.